you know, like the fighting.
Like a motivational.
It's like fighting, come on, we can do this, we can do this. We saw a video at TI5, I think it was RTK. He was just like, Jayo, Jayo. That's kind of what the Chinese people always do.
The question is, did it work for you?
I own, man.
We only had to play anti-mage, so it didn't really matter.
Hey, and Invoker. Don't forget Invoker.
Yeah, sometimes.
2 heroes, not one.
Speaking about limited hero pools, I really feel like we needs to get on a hero he's good at. DC has lost 2 games now where we played a hero that's out of his best 3. Those 3 that he plays, he's amazing at. Timbersaw was not good. Yep. What was the other one he failed at the other day? I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't Timber level, but
what was it?
It was something. DK.
DK.
It was outside of his comfort zone,
ordinary.
outside of his playstyle. They've got to stick to what he's really good at, and Weehawk can be the 8K MMR player that he is.
But then you have to go back to that last drive and say the Invoker was open right at the end of the game.
Well, Timbersaw fit if it was a good Timber player. Honestly, if he just transitions and participates in fights early with a little bit of setup, yeah, he can get kills,
if he uses his spells properly, I think they win that game. Like, there's that portion in the jungle early game where it took so long for 4 heroes to kill him, but he's just like not getting the value out of his spells. I think that if that was like a Miracle Timber or a Sumail Timber, he kills at least 2 heroes.
What also could have happened is that he played it a lot in matchmaking, and he was like, oh, yeah, I'm actually really confident on this hero, but then it is completely different in a like tournament environment like this.
To me, it looked like what happened was they're like, Timber's a perfect pick. Weehawk, can you play? He's like, yeah, I can play that.
Probably,
and then he's like, what skill build should I go? And Moo's like, 4 in reactive armor is really good. But Moo plays offlane, and in those situations, yes, it's very good, but not mid. And I feel like he got pulled into that meta new skill build, that's the new thing, but he lost the base of the hero. It's about doing damage.
You play him in middle to just burst people down.
Yeah.
Especially against Alchemist. You pick it to counter the Alchemist, and he kind of just stayed on the lane and got hit by creeps.
Yeah. If Flaken has a bad early game, they're lacking damage, and Timber didn't bring that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing we have learned from Game 2 is that DC did not like the IO Alchemist, that's for sure. So those have gone in the first round of bans, and we've got to... I guess we figured out from Game 1 that they weren't going to give him the Lifestealer back either. So we're going to first pick Doom. Haven't seen that for a little while.
I do like the IO Alchemist band, especially the Alchemist one, just because, as we saw from the last game, they don't want to put Wii in a position where he might have to 1v1 an Alch with a hero he's not super comfortable with.
I like it a lot. I like it more for the IO band. I think FY on that IO, if I had to give the MVP to anybody, it would be him. He enabled so many heroes in that game. Like, he helped out the Bristleback, helped out the Alchemist as well. And when Gyro was getting ganked, he TPs up there, tethers him up, and then DC's like, oh, guess we can't gank this guy.
DDC played amazing as well. Everybody on Vici Gaming Reborn. They look like a completely different team.
Yeah.
So just like the commentator said, Game 1, really one-sided. Game 2, really one-sided the opposite way. Venge Bat is a good opening for Vici Gaming, though.
Now we go back to the Invoker.
All right, they're good.
Yeah, okay.
The Gucci.
So much more stable this time. Get Wee's hero out really early. Yes, it can be countered, but at least he's on his arguably his best hero right now.
Yeah. I think they want to ban out position 4 heroes that can get really aggressive in middle, though. Maybe like an Earth Spirit.
I would also probably maybe ban out the PL as well. The PL Invoker matchup is terrible for the Invoker.
It is. Maybe just ban Earth Spirit PL, because when you have Earth Spirit and they get their hands on like a DP, it becomes really, really hard for the Invoker to play.
Right.
Quick shout out for DDC, by the way. This is his 127th game in a Valve tournament, which is a new record.
He's been around since TI1.
Yep.
Right? That guy is very...
127 games.
He's always been very good.
Only in Valve events. Hal, Kuroki, they're still in the tournament, and they're a couple behind him. Hal's 1 behind him, and Kuroki's 3 behind him now. So they've still got time left in this tournament in terms of how far they could go and who could finish at the top of the Valve tree.
I feel like DDC's one of the Chinese players that's really been under the radar, despite always being consistently good and consistently being on top teams in China.
Yeah.
I think he's not talked about enough. He played great last game as Rubik.
He's got a great jawline too.
It's very interesting.
Honestly, it was a little random, but it was one of the first things that struck me about him when I saw him.
Charlie being random. That's so random.
Yeah, I want to say something nice about somebody. I can't do that, Paul? Why do I always got to be the heel?
Well, I mean, it's just not that you can't say anything nice. It's just you usually don't say anything nice, so we get used to that.
Yeah, no style.
Yeah. I'm going to get the GKY now, aren't I? But you can't say that live, so they'll have to figure out what GKY means.
I'll write it on an easel and send it to you.
Don't do that, you get fired.
Lycan gets banned out from Vici Gaming.
And the Phoenix for Digital Chaos.
One of FY's favorite heroes. I think they have a really high win. Probably not in this tournament, but in general, they have a pretty high win rate with the hero.
Yeah, it's off very quickly when he remembers that Phoenix is like 22% win rate.
But before this
Yes.
tournament, they ran it, and they had
Yes.
a lot of success with it.
Yeah. They've run it here as well. Again, hadn't had much success with it at all
Yeah.
in the group stages, like nothing. In fact, lost all their games with it.
I like the Lich ban a lot for Vici Reborn. They do have a tendency to play a little more greedy, and Lich punishes that real hard.
Yeah.
So what's the Batrider counter, other than Tornado?
You know who's still left in this pool? Beastmaster. Untouched,
Wow.
unbanned, second phase, great against the Batrider.
There we
Just
go with the
great
Earth
in
Spirit.
general.
DC picked that Beastmaster right now.
I'm surprised they didn't ban the Earth Spirit. It's one of the best heroes to pressure the Invoker with. And if you want to have a good game for Wii, you definitely want to have that hero out of the pool.
Well, there are ways to deal with it. I do like the Phantom Lancer ban better. I mean, like, that hero just crushes Invoker mid. So it's harder to deal with in the Earth Spirit, and maybe they feel like Phoenix is just, they're not comfortable going up against the Phoenix.
Sunray Supernova is so scary. Pretty much all situations.
Yeah. Especially against those heroes too.
What is there to think about right now for them?
Do they take
This-
the Beastmaster?
Yeah, this is the Beastmaster pick,
Can it
isn't
fit their lane?
Do we take Beastmaster? Also, how do we protect Wii in the mid lane?
Yeah.
Because they could also bad rider mid, but they didn't do that.
I wonder if
They're
they
not
thought
red.
that maybe if they left it, then Vici would pick Beastmaster and they had a plan for it anyway.
Well, there we go, DP,
Wow.
Earth Spirit, as we spoke about before.
That's a scary looking lane for Vici Gaming here. I mean, Witch Doctor is pretty good here, but
He's good in a defensive way, but like
well, they will be ganking mid.
they will be for sure. But is he going to be in position? It's going to be the question.
They will be diving. So with
Yeah.
Cask, and especially with DP, I think Witch Doctor Cask will be okay.
Yeah, should be okay.
It's really up to Saksa to really position himself well, get down the timings, and just think about when Vici is going to gank. You have to anticipate where the Earth Spirit is going to be and when he's going to be there.
So looking for the carry, and potentially the offlane, they could grab the Beastmaster now.
I want to
It kind
give.
of works.
I
Invoker.
would pick something very self-sustaining for resolution at this point, because Wii's going to need a lot of help mid. Doom that's probably a Mu offlane Doom. I believe he's pretty much the only person that plays it on that team.
Yeah. I go with Beastmaster.
Or,
They do Beastmaster.
okay.
Really good against Bad Rider. And for last pick, I think they want something like a Juggernaut or Slark for resolution. They can like sustain himself on the lane against the Bad Rider.
I like Slark a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great idea. He's pretty hard to kill this game. It comes down to Earth Spirit Silence, Bat Rider Lasso, obviously, but a few
They-
times
they
that
can
right.
kill
Meepo
him?
ban? Meepo ban? They're not going to do it because
no.
they've seen Invoker, right?
Yeah.
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 I mean, Resolution can play Invoker as well, right? But
Yeah.
Yeah, he can, but I think they want to put Wii on it here, and
it's not the best Meepo game. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good against Earth
No,
Spirit.
I-
They're
probably.
obviously, it's obviously in their
yeah.
mind as well as they think about this. They're
Yeah.
going to be going through that.
I do like Slark a lot. They can kill him, but it does require a lot of coordination on the side of Vici.
You know
Vici
what could
Reborn.
be really good? What VG did in the past, they run the Vengeful Core, they go with an Oracle pick, and then they're perfectly fine against the Beastmaster. They can protect the DP as well as the Bad Rider if they initiate on them. And they did run it in the past.
Yeah, that's the only downside thing of Avenge Carry. It sort of works, but like you said, I'm not sure if they'd want to go that. I think Vici just plays standard here.
Oh, there, it's a Juggernaut ban.
I really do like the Slark though. They need a carry that can easily deal with the Bat Rider, or at least keep Bat Rider on his toes. Because if he ever gets pounced and a support shows up, Bat
dead.
Rider almost always dies.
Yeah.
And if it's just a regular carry like Lycan or something, Bat Rider's
They
always
ban
banned
they
the
ban Slark
Slark
out themselves.
themselves.
And now they don't have Juggernaut either. Like, what do they want to do safe lane?
Okay, well surely they know what they want.
Yeah, but I don't know what they want.
So it's not like Vici goes first and then it's their turn, but I mean, there's some downsides about Slark. Like Earth Spirit can stun him when he's in biz.
Clinks.
Okay.
Instead.
Slightly.
I think
off
Clinks is
meta.
really risky against... Ooh.
And a Terror Blade from Vici Gaming just to throw it out of the window. Nice.
They picked it really
Last
fast
couple
too.
of
They're
picks, they did.
confident.
They knew that's exactly what they were going to do.
they're
Okay,
confident.
very quickly, let's go down the line. Charlie, this is a tough one.
This is a tough one, but I'm going to go with my original prediction and pick Digital Chaos.
Okay.
I'm going against my prediction. I actually like VG better here.
I feel more confident in Vici's lineup as well. Yeah.
Okay, seems like the Terrorblade may have just about turned the key on our panelists. Let's find out what our commentators think as we head into Game 3. It's all yours, Odie Pixie.
Thank you very much, Paul. Indeed, Game 3 now coming up between the sides of Vici Gaming Reborn and Digital Chaos. The final pick, Terrorblade. Ben, talk to me about that. Is that how Vici Gaming are going to pull this one through?
Yeah, you should be pretty scared of that. Are you scared of Yang's Batrider?
I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'll tell you what is going to be scary. Weeha on the Invoker. The panel talks about the fact that Game 2, out of his comfort zone on the Timbersaw, but we'll see what kind of a performance he can bring out here back on his signature Invokers. We get ourselves straight into Game 3.
Digital Chaos versus Vici Gaming Reborn.
Here we have it as we get ourselves affiliated with both of the sides. A bit of a rundown, but talk to me about the Terrorblade, Ben. Why is it good here for Vici Gaming?
I think teams have been exploring solutions against these single-target heavy teamfight ultimates like Doom and Beastmaster. And Terrorblade worked wonders yesterday, and dooming a Terrorblade doesn't really do that much. This illusion still output a lot of damage, especially when you have the Vengeful, Aura, and the Death Prophet's also really good versus the Doombringer, so they don't really have a good Doom target. And it's just good at pushing towers. They wanted a hero that can get involved early, push down, and it's good at split pushing like a Morphling, but it can also contribute team fights very, very early on. And he has 10 armor, 10 base armor.
That's an insane amount of armor indeed, but certainly the small health pool to kind of balance it out. And I mean, as you said, you know, in terms of magical damage, I guess there'll be a point where Weeha's Invoker can be a little bit scary for the Terrorblade, but it's all going to be down to how much he can do. And there's always going to be the potential of that, if it is indeed going to be the Exort build, that roar into Sunstrike at a point, which can catch the TB off guard.
They do have to swap for that.
Yes.
And ideally, the Batrider would be able to lasso him in teamfights. You know, Yang's 8.4K.
8.4K.
8.4.
My goodness, I'm looking forward to seeing his bat performance. I mean, he is, of course, going to be down here on that off lane, dealing with the safe lane of the Witch Doctor and Resolution Clinks combination. I mean, the Clinks certainly picked up with what seemed like a lot of confidence there with DC's final pick. The Terrorblade did then come after. I mean, why the Clinks this game for Resolution, and how come something not like the Slark that the panel were leaning more towards?
I'm not exactly sure. Maybe they think that they wanted more heavy burst versus Death Prophet. Slark's better at longer fights. Maybe just wanting to blow someone up immediately with a roar into some combo. But at the same time, Vici Reborn have the Vengeful Spirit to kind of mitigate that single target focus that DC may be aiming for.
Resolution already on the spawn lane, a bit of aggression coming out from the side of Vici Gaming Reborn as they force him back. He's got 5 stacks at the moment on him. Now wait them out. Top lane, Moo on the Doom. I mean, we did see, of course, game 1, Moo had a great performance on this hero. I mean, the question is has these kind of two lineups got the potential to allow him to have a similar kind of game, or is it going to be a harder match for the Doom?
I think it's a much harder match for the Doom. There's a lot more that he has to deal with. No ideal Doom targets for him.
What lane as well. Look at this Vici Gamer Reborn coming in heavy onto Resolution. That's going to be your first blood here for Yang. You said he was 8.4K and certainly coming into this game with a lot of skill and a lot of style there. As Resolution just, the stacks got too much. I believe he had about 5 stacks on him as he went down there.
And the threat of the Earth Spirit, it's a little bit too much for them.
I just look at that, yeah, indeed on the CS. Resolution at the moment, Ben, 0-0. And then you look over to end on the Terrorblade. He's 8-8, a huge difference here in the first couple of minutes between the two safe lanes.
And another reason why they might have picked up the Clinks is because they're not on Dire, so they need some way to threaten the Roach. They have the Beastmaster to scout it out, and with the Invoker and the Clinks, they can actually take it down themselves much earlier than the Death Prophet with the Exorcism.
I'm talking about the Death Prophet in the mid lane, No against Weeha's Invoker. At the moment, a slight edge for No, 10 for 4 against 8 for 1, but Weeha, of course, on his Invoker with Exalt build as well. He's always going to have the potential to back up, clear up some of the jungle creeps, so we can expect Weeha to still have a fairly solid start, especially with the fact that VGR, they are putting pretty much all of FY's attention towards that bottom lane. We're yet to see him really come in towards the mid lane. They're not even bothering there. They just want to try and keep Resolution in place as much as they can.
Roll coming out, narrowly mixes Saksa on bottom lane. FY in a lot of trouble.
See if they can get themselves a kill. They can indeed. Resolution will be able to find one onto FY. Just as we said, this was an Spirit looking to put the pressure on it. He can't afford to give away kills like that to the Clinks. So 1-1 now on the board for DC. If they step it up, yeah, got to be a bit careful as well. FY himself away. Straight back into the lane though. FY going to make sure that they can try and maintain this heat that they're bringing up on the bottom lane. And to Saxus, and they can get lead, and they will with the stun. The slow as well, it's a nice cast. It's going to buy him some time to escape. And will indeed be enough. Now they turn their attention towards Resolution, but he simply, Skeleton walks away. And DC will be able to keep themselves safe there at the bottom. Top lane, Moot, DDC just trading hits. Feeling confident to just come back in. Not too scared at all. Scorched Earth back off cooldown in 6 seconds. They'll try and continue to go on, and with the slow, the Wave of Terror as well. And with the Metamorphosis out, it's more than enough damage. End on the Terror Blade now, picking himself up a kill in this lane that he's already having a fantastic time in with regards to the farm.
I wonder if Moo's going to go for the phase boost like he normally does. I think he needs the armor versus the Terror Blade, especially with the added damage from the reflection coming out and the minus armor coming out from the Vengeful Spirit. And do they have any stacks up for the Batrider? Doesn't look like it. That's going to be the key hero that can deal with Wee's Invoker. And knowing that they do have a jungle Beastmaster, Yang invading that territory.
Oh, he might find a very easy kill. Oh! Oh no! Oh no! He did get it. Oh, I nearly had a heart attack then. I thought he'd lost his tranquil, but he's fine in that sense, and the turnaround's going to be there. Misery, very lucky to escape with his life and with his tranquils intact there. A very risky bit of play there for DC, but it does end up going their way. My goodness.
Everyone's worst nightmare as a jungler with Tranquil.
I saw that, I was like, oh goodness. Had a bit of a heart attack there for Misery himself, but yeah, he had the backup. He had the backup, and Yang unable to punish him for placing them on the ground. Ooh. Ooh. That was a close one indeed, but 2-2 still. I mean, certainly panning out to be the game that we were kind of hoping to be here in Game 3. Game 1 and Game 2 being relatively stompy either way.
Roll in on the mid.
Can they get this one? No, it's not going to be enough to set up onto a kill on Weeha. And Weeha still maintaining himself very well in this mid lane. Just still the big difference being between both the Terrorblade and the Clinks. But at the same time, Resolution can certainly, obviously once he gets that 6 online and kind of is at least just the Soul Ring, he's going to be able to try and look for some ganks. But the question is, I mean, looking at Vici's lineup, are there heroes that we can expect to see Resolution try and make early rotations onto?
I don't think so. The Death Prophet generally won't be that far out alone. I think they're going to be pushing a lot with the Vengeful Spirit and the Terrorblade and the Death Prophet, and Clinks can't really gank into those. Maybe if Batrider gets really slowed down and he's forced to jungle by his lonesome.
Look at this toppers lane as well. They've laid down a ward. FY looking to try and get a perfect angle from the sidelines.
Oh, Misery. It's time. He is level 6 with the smoke. 6 minutes in. Saksa looks like he's going to maybe smoke with him, but this is about that time for that first maneuver with the Primal Roar.
Roar and a Sunstriker certainly do wonders against the side of Vici Gaming. Still eyes on Tamil on the top lane. They brought no cross as well, straight in. It's on point and they'll take it. Another kill here for Vici Gaming Reborn, and another kill more specifically for End on the Terrorblade. And now with the Metamorphosis looking to take down a tier 1 as well. This has got to be one of the best starts we've seen for a Terrorblade in competitive. 6.5 minutes in, 2 kills, 47 CS, and a tier 1 as well, Ben.
Looks like he's going for the Dragonlance build, 2 Bands of Elven Skin. I like that build a lot.
Oh, Misery, he's going to find Yang. He's going to go for the Roar. There's the Sunstrike follow through as well. Can he finish this one off well with the help of Zaxxer? He will. That's the combination we're talking about. That big catch potential and a huge amount of burst at this stage of the game. Meanwhile, though, top lane, Vici Gaming Reborn continuing to apply the pressure with the Exorcism committed as well, looking to take a tier 2 just 7 minutes into the game here. FY caught out by the cast, but it doesn't look like DC can get the kill. And Vici Gaming, 7 minutes in, a second tower from this top lane.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, will he get denied by No-No?
Will indeed. Another bit of favorable play here for Vici Gaming Reborn.
They're slowing down Yang a lot, though. Yang did get first blood, but now he doesn't really have too much to show for it. Pretty low on the CS, 2 deaths to his name, and the supports have not really had time to stack for him. FY more concentrated on keeping down the Invoker and Vengeful Spirit, being that siege engine to aid Terrorblade and bursting down those T1s and T2s.
So you can can see as well, and the TB, he's going to make a beeline straight for the bottom lane. Looks like he just wants to continue to push, continue to take these early towers, and just find as much as he can. He really is having a great time so far, as we can see there on the net worth, miles ahead of that of DC's.
They really need the Invoker to burst down the Terrorblade, but Invoker doesn't want to get involved this early. When you're Quad X, or you just want to get your Midas and keep on farming 8 occasionally with a Sunstrike, but without his magical damage output, he has 17 armor.
Oh, Saxa as well. He walks in, dispelling the smoke of FY and DDC. It's a nice cast, but I don't know if it's going to save this man's life, and indeed it's not. N coming in as well to get himself involved. Another kill for VGR.
And that's pretty much another tower for VGR.
More and more objectives being found here by the side. They're getting a huge amount of momentum. I guess, as you said, we're still kind of waiting for the point of the game where Weeha's going to be confident in terms of coming in and getting involved in the action. Maybe that's when we're going to see DC regain some sort of a grip on this game, but at the moment, it's certainly VGR in the driver's seat, taking another tower, more money into the pocket of Terrorblade, 4.8k net worth, and the Dragon Lance now complete. It's looking very scary indeed.
They're dealing with the Jungle Beastmaster very, very well. He's only been able to get 1 Roar kill at this point. He's doing decently in CS, but they've lost 3 towers as a result, and DC looking to retaliate. Another smoke coming out from Mesri and Saxa.
Looking for some kind of Roar lead in. Resolution has got eyes onto Nono in the middle. And that's actually going to see the smoke come towards this as well. So DC, it will be a lovely kill to get with a lead in from the Roar. Since he's going to be the fast to buy time to get the Roar. He's incredibly tanky, not tanky enough to live through that. The Maledict and a Sunstrike will be enough for the kill. VGR on the sidelines, maybe looking to kind of play around with this one, but DC forcing VGR back. So DC get away with a big kill. Forcing away the rest of the side of Vici Gaming Reborn. There is now a blink up on Yang's Batrider. So you see what kind of play they want to go once the Death Prophet's back in the game. Weeha now with the Midas complete. So he himself certainly has the potential of catching up End in terms of farm on the Terrorblade. But 10 minutes in, do you feel this is still definitely a favorable start for Vici?
Yep, especially if they keep on taking towers. Once they get a T1, get an Aegis up on Terrorblade, I think DC are in a lot of trouble, and this is before the threat of the Batrider. He does not have a smoke right now, but looks like his teammates will aid him. T2, 3 heroes. Where is the smoke, they are wondering? He didn't have enough money to buy it. And this is going to be a little bit too slow. They want, the timing just has to be very exact now. 2 supports have been missing off the map for a good 20-30 seconds. Let's see if they can get a kill for that. Radiant has used Scan, but did not catch out these 3 heroes, but you can definitely tell that they know that something's up.
They're trying to bait a bit with Nono again by the looks of it. VGR.
Saxa might be walking pretty close into it. They see him with the Observer Ward on that top side.
If Mu comes up here, he will be walking into World of Pain. He actually has a fair bit of backup though, so DC could take the fight. VGR already being a little bit careful. No, they still want to go for this one. Yang jumps in, can't quite get the lasso off, so it's a failed initiation. Nice silence onto Saxa, Resolution on the sidelines. Now they get the lasso off, but the Roar's there to counteract the initiation from Yang, and Yang's down. The cast bouncing across to Nono. Can they get themselves in close and personal for the DP? Doesn't look like they can. But nonetheless, a smoke from VGR unsuccessful. A bad initiation from the Bat, and it's countered immediately by DC's presence there with the Beastmaster.
Yeah, and poor communication on that smoke. I think that Yang expected that the supports had to smoke, supports expected that Batrider had to smoke, and 15 seconds is just way too much time to be sitting around waiting.
And here's the replay as we can see Yang. He still wants to go for it, and at this point he jumps in, realizes his error. It's a nice silence on the sidelines to stop Saxa and Resolution getting in, but they're allowed to get the Beastmaster in from the south. That Roar to lock him down. The lasso does nothing at all, and Mu just turns around.
Not even that bad of a fight though, because Terrorblade just took a free tower in the meantime, and I don't think that's exactly what DC wanted at the end of that engagement, but at least they did not lose their Invoker or any other key hero.
That stat, the 4th highest ever net worth at this time of the game. That's pretty impressive, man. My goodness, certainly a great start here for the Terrorblade, but nonetheless, as we can see, DC still finding things to
They're scared
themselves.
about the Roche. The Hawk's already over there. Worry that that's their neck protected, and it should be. Maybe once the Metamorphosis cools down, just in case DC want to take a fight over there.
VGR still being rather grouped up as for. I'm going to head up towards the top lane, but yeah, DC is making sure that they don't hang around for too long.
severe lack of armor on the Doom. He didn't opt for the Tranquils. He had a Wildkin creep, but he ended up eating the Speed Aura creep. Maybe wants like a Frost Armor, casual Buckler. Sometimes we see like an early Helm of Iron Will for the Veil. But he needs armor for sure, or he's going to drop really quickly in team fights. And another smoke on Yang. They did just kill a Beastmaster Hog, so very unlikely that they're going to smoke directly after that. And they see the Necro Books pop by Misery. That could be a good sign for them to take an aggressive engagement on DC side of the map.
Let's see what kind of a lead-in they get. Yang leading the way, of course. They will have eyes onto Moo. Moo, he's underneath the ward and straight in Yang. This time Moo doesn't have Misery to help him out. No one at all there to help the Doom, and it's a free kill for VGR that they'll turn straight away into this push on the mid lane. Exorcism's out, Metamorphosis as well. We can certainly expect to see this tier 2 just melt in a matter of seconds if DC don't come in for some kind of a defense. And DC, they're just simply looking for a trade. A bit of a push coming in on the bottom lane. They do not want to fight into Metamorphosis and Exorcisms because at this point, they just can't. That is a huge amount of damage to try and stop.
Well, what can we do to stop this push? No Ice Wall, no Deafening Blast, and Tower is going to take a beating.
You can see Misery's continuing to try and go for that split on the bottom lane. As you said, tier 3 taking a fair bit of damage from the side. They will now react to the push from Misery, keeping themselves back as the Metamorphosis and the Exorcism comes to an end. We'll be able to hold on to the tier 2, but still, yeah, the pushing power from Vici Gaming this match is absolutely incredible.
Their 5 minutes way too strong. I think they need a smoke at some point with the Beastmaster to try and get some picks to slow down this 5-man from VGR. Their cores are very tanky at this point with strength treads. On Terrorblade, he's very difficult to kill. Death Prophet already has the Atos, not opting for the Veil. I think the HP is better versus the Doom and the Invoker, as opposed to a little bit of extra armor from the Veil.
Anyway, with the smoke, DC, they're actually going to go straight into the pit here. So Vici Gaming Reborn.
There's already the Terrorblade illusion. It might scout it out.
Yeah, it has indeed. They know what's up. It's already down to half health. It looks like DC want to try and commit to this one, but VGR, they are making their way over. Roshan, it's falling too quickly though, and they will get away with that one. DC getting the Aegis onto Klink, so VGR unable to react in time. So a smart play there from DC, and they get away with it without being punished at all.
Yeah, VGR were not ready for that. I was surprised that they committed to getting some damage on the T3 instead of Roche. It's a much safer play, and it will allow them to take out the T3. But DC with a slightly lucky DD rune.
I mean, it certainly does feel at this stage, the way that the game has kind of begin to plateau out, that the DC are going to be happy with this change of pace. We saw at the start the fact that he was ahead with the farm, but overall now DC, they have the net worth lead. And XP-wise as well, they're getting it more so across the map, split up a lot more than VGR have been. And now the difference between both Resolution and Weeha compared to End, it's not that big at all. And they're managing to catch up to the Terrorblade. And of course, they've still got 3 tier 2s to take, whereas VGR, they're also rolling at the moment with 2 extra tower gold being taken. So DC, they are slowly becoming this pretty scary force. You look at Resolution, 500 gold or so away from having the completed Desolator. And then DC, they're going to be in a really good position to fight and look for these kind of pickoffs as well. They've got a very kind of flexible lineup by the looks of it.
They're in a much better position now that VGR are very hesitant to push it together as 5. Their split push, their split farming has way higher potential than VGR's, because Doom can eliminate any hero that's pushing out alone, as can the Klinks, as can Invoker, and VGR, they can't farm out alone unless it's very safe on their side of the map. Also, DC have been doing a really good job putting down great wards and using that Hawk.
Yeah, absolutely. The vision's been huge, and Misery as well, as you said. Just the way he's been able to kind of lock down areas of the map with the vision control. It's been very hard for VGR to try and find these kind of successful rotations. They are coming across again into DC's half of the map, into their jungle. Eyes towards any kind of pickoff, but Sax is already backing off. Misery TP'd out, and they're going to be unable to find anything here again for the time being. They look back over towards Weeha, 500 gold away from his Aghanims. There's some big items indeed coming out. There we have the Desolator now done for Resolution. Vici Gaming Reborn, I mean, how well does their draft kind of stand up as the game goes on? Is Terrorblade really a sort of unstoppable late game force, or will DC always have answers to him if they're able to keep up and on par in terms of items?
I think with Invoker being this farmed, he can deal with all the illusions. I don't think it's reached that point where the Terrorblade illusions can take that amount of magic burst. Even a Deafening Blast is a huge nuisance for the illusions.
Vici Gaming looking to continue the way that they've been playing this one, 18 minutes in, looking to take away DC's last tier 2. We'll be able to, so more money for end on the Terrorblade. So they may just continue to push it, maybe with Metamorphosis up. They do have Exorcism available. Let's see how hard they want to go in here and how DC's going to be able to respond to this one. So we have it ready for the lead-in. What kind of counter to this push are DC going to have? Just a cast coming out at the moment from Saxa. Misery on the side. Resolution ready to get into position. Necessarily going to be looking for Aurora if they can find it, but already VGR is respecting the defense of DC.
Doom on the top side.
Gotta be careful about the jump in, and there we have it. Yang will catch out Mu on the Doom. Silence is out as well, but now Weehaw with the combo. They're coming in with the Meteor, bursting them down. No, taken out of the fight here. Now the cast bouncing on, giving DC the potential to chase for more. Death Ward down, DDC punished as well, and the cast bounces continue to work out, allowing Misery to get the Roar into Weehaw's Sunstrike. They'll find themselves 3. They're gonna get more as Wee gets the cold snap off. Doom's out onto Terrorblade and DC. Taking down 4 from Vici Gaming Reborn, an incredibly successful defense. And Weehaw, he's been having kind of a quiet, focused start, but that fight, he did so much there for the team.
VGR were just lured into this terrible positioning by that lasso. He was on the north side, and everyone had to run down that hill, which clumped up for the Invoker's huge burst.
I mean, look at this. We're seeing from Weehaw's player perspective at the moment. The way he started it off with the Tornado into Meteor, gets the Sunstrike kill, and then immediately heading for more and finding the Terrorblade as well. Great play from him, but of course just from the team as well. And those cast bounces, I mean, this man, Saxa, he's a bit of a god on the Witch Doctor. Certainly RNG working his way there in that fight.
But that Aegis had a really large impact on that. If they had had the Aegis, they would have just run up with Death Prophet and started sieging the tower instead of having to be very worried about the Doom, about the Beastmaster coming out from the side. And that Roshan has completely changed the game.
So he has indeed certainly put a stopper to the early momentum that VGR had. It's pretty much all but gone now at this stage. DC certainly the ones with the lead. VGR, they can't afford to lose like that again when they try for these pushes.
I don't think they'll try for a push anytime soon. Yeah. It's far too risky. They just need to control the map so that they can get the Roche. I think they're strong enough to take a fight around the Roche pit as long as Death Prophet doesn't get bursted down, and that's mostly on the Death Prophet to watch out for her positioning, but also on the Vengeful Spirit, so she can be there for a defensive swap, sacrifice her life so the Death Prophet can keep Spirit Siphoning people and Exorcism. She needs more armor. The Clinks with the Medallion as well as the Desolator just rips through her armor.
Yang again, I mean, he's coming in from the side, looking to see if there's any kind of opening, but constantly being spotted out by the Hawks of the Beastmaster. Mu. This man, 2k gold. See what he does want to do with it.
I think there might be grouped up for a smoke on the Dire side, but it might be under that Radiant Observer ward.
Certainly close to it at the moment. They need to get a bit further out to the north, and now they are out of range of the vision, so good area to go for it here if they want to. At the same time, it may just be reacting to the bit of pressure that DC are putting in this top lane. But already, Resolution and Mu keeping themselves away from the action. Vici Gaming won't find anything here, and now Mu with that Blink Dagger as well, that extra bit of catch potential.
That's a curious build on Terrorblade, the Diffusal. It does synergize well with the Manta style, but I haven't seen it too often. I'm not a Terrorblade player.
We'll see how much that does. I mean, I guess it certainly helps in terms of having the Metamorphosis up and just that chase potential.
It's very agility efficient in terms of your gold cost. So 25 agility for a little over 3,000 gold, and you want to stack agility on illusion heroes. Generally, people like Scotty, I believe.
See what they can do with this smoke, Yang. Oh, if he can get the lasso onto Weehaw, that would be a great way to start the fight, but Weehaw just out of Vision's range at the moment. Yang's going to continue to move forward, but at the same time, look at DC. They're kind of prepared for this, but there's a jump in. They'll get Weehaw. They need to take down the Evoker. The silence is down. The lasso as well. Weehaw, he's going to get taken down. Mu as well in a lot of trouble. The Death Ward's out for Saxa. Can they actually turn this one, DC? It doesn't look like they can. A third one down. And a perfect smoke from Vici Gaming. The best jump they could have hoped for. They're catching out Wee, taking him out of the fight, and then following it through into 2 more kills. That's exactly what Vici Gaming Reborn needed.
Yeah, and they next level with that wraparound throughout the mid. DC, they had scanned to make sure that they weren't approaching from the river. They were also positioned for the river.
And just look at that. Look how much damage No does as he rips into these heroes. Weehar's gone, turns towards Mu. He's gone as well. I mean, the Death Ward's beating into this Terrorblade, but with the amount of armor he has, he just does not care. So much damage there from the side of Vici Gaming Reborn, and just as you said, they could not have hoped for a better way to start that fight. At the least, Resolution will, of course, live for it, keeps himself intact as he does manage to get away on top of the Deso. Now going into 3.5k, I mean, what does this Clinkz need this game? Does he need to get a BKB against VGR's lineup, or does he just continue to build more damage?
I don't think he needs BKB. There's so much physical damage to deal with.
Spotted out Resolution as well. They already found 3 down bottom. They're going to find the Clinkz eventually as well up here. Resolution caught out of position, and a huge pick-off as well. Will lose a few hundred gold as well, as he was stockpiling it there, Resolution.
I think he's maybe considering it. I think one thing that does a lot of damage is actually the reflection from the Terrorblade. And Clinkz will hit himself very, very hard. Aside from that, though, there's not that much, maybe a little bit from Batrider. I think they need to do a better job of protecting the Invoker. Maybe he'll get a blink.
Sliding in, grabbing out Saxa, ripping him away from the rest of his team. That will be a free Witch Doctor killer for VGR. The rest of DC splitting and getting themselves the hell out of there as quickly as they can. But I mean, you know, this game, it's really been back and forth, kind of going from that great defense from DC into VGR, finding those 3 kills and then 2 solo pickoffs. They are, you know, they are showing us that this game is far from over, and it's indeed going to be that incredibly close nail biter of a game 3 that we hope for.
Yeah, and that amazing smoke, which really solidified the second Roshan for VGR. It will be pinged out, and I don't think DC can do that. Now, they're still licking their wounds from the last couple of engagements.
Really are. No Witch Doctor for 10 more seconds. DC, are they even going to attempt to make a movement over? They are grouped up as for, and they are smoked. They do want to try for this. Let's see if they can get there in time. It's already a half health. End with the Metamorphosis. It's a lot of damage ripping through this Roshan. DC, they're getting into the neighborhood. They are close. They may have a chance of going for this. They'll jump in onto DDC. Raw, Sunstrike, he's down. Roshan is still alive here. Can DC get themselves over to the pit? Roche falling low. Can they get the steal? It's been taken down by the Dire. Aegis on the ground. End will pick it up here. But they've already lost a second one. End, he's going to get taken around as well. Huge combo. No, he lives through it. The Sunder. End keeps himself alive here. DC may have found 2. It's a good cast, a good Death Ward as well. Can they get these follow-up kills? Chasing down the Terrorblade. Axes fly through. They'll pop the Aegis. Can they kill this man a second time here? Misery doing his best to keep Yang away. The Sunstrike straight down onto the man and trying to turn and fight it with it. Oh, he's going to do it! He's going to do it! Terrorblade fighting through. He doesn't give a damn because the dude's down onto a triple kill. He will finally get taken down here, but Misery will pay with his life as well. What an incredibly messy fight there around the pit.
Oh my god, Terrorblade at that fight. He didn't have any cooldowns. He had already used Sunder, already used Manta, already used Meta. How was he able to kill everyone that quickly?
My goodness, getting a triple kill just like that. Right, with DC just surrounding him, he did not care. The amount of damage output he can do as long as he gets Metamorphosis out of him. Talk me through it, Ben. What goes on?
Well, DDC just sacrificing himself so that they ensure the Aegis. There's actually a tornado that comes out, but no one inside the pit for DC to snatch it. So End is able to fortunately pick it up himself, and huge Invoker combo. Exactly where you want all these heroes clumped up.
It really had the fact that they couldn't kill End there.
They don't have vision around the pit. And that's kind of Yang with a flying vision, killing that.
If they had killed End at that stage, then this fight would have been totally different. But the fact, look at him. Look at this turnaround potential here. I mean, you kill him once, and it looks like to be a good start on the second attempt because they do hit the Sunstruck, but look, just Terrorblade ban. Here we go. All right, looks towards. Who did you go for? He goes for Weehaw first. Easy kill. Looks towards Mu. That's another easy one. Saxa, he's going to be an easy one. It's just getting kills just like that. I mean, we're certainly seeing the strength of this hero, and I guess the question really begs is, I mean, do you think as this tournament goes on, we will see more teams be a little bit more confident in picking it up?
Yeah, they should definitely be wary of it. He has a ton of armor. Clinkz had to leave the fight because he got sundered, and then Invoker had already used his first volley of spells to bring down his Aegis, and then I think actually No played a really big role in that fight. He was hiding inside the pit while the Aegis was respawning, and then he silenced them and came around with the Spirit Siphon to lock down Weehop. But that was a huge turnaround. Did not expect VGR to come away ahead on that fight.
I mean, I guess kind of the little plus was the fact that they do obviously kill the Terrorblade at the end, but I mean, it's a nice bit of cash for Saxa. He's the one that got the final touch to it. But now the fact that, yeah, and got that triple kill, he was able to make the purchases. Scardy now complete on the Terrorblade as well. He is becoming incredibly scary, but at the same time we have seen if Weeha can hit the combo, he can certainly burst down the man, but it's going to get harder and harder as this Terrorblade continues to build up.
They have to commit a lot of spells though. If they just commit the Invoker volley, he can just sunder, and someone else is going to die, and Invoker's going to be useless for the remainder of that fight. So they probably have to commit like an Invoker combo plus Doom onto him, I would say, just to be safe.
I'm looking towards Weeha's Invoker as well. 4K gold. I mean, is there any way that he needs to kind of orient his build in terms of dealing with a Terrorblade? What do you pick up as
he still has to worry about the Batrider. If the Batrider gets the last stone, or he gets swapped in the middle of a fight, he doesn't do any damage. So, like, Blink is an option. Lincoln's, I think, is pretty good on him, but I think Blink is the safest because you can split push a lot more safely with that. Could also just go for Octarine Refresher if he were just only worried about the Terrorblade.
There certainly is every reason to be worried about MCB after that last fight. And VGR may be ready to look for a bit of a push here. If they're coming down the mid, they do have that Metamorphosis available as well as Exorcism. And here we have it. It's going to be an incredibly strong push from the side of VGR. See what DC can do. They will try and hold.
Strong. How did they kill the illusions?
Yeah, absolutely. Look at this ripping through the tower. Fortification will come out from DC. What kind of leading can they get? The Tornado comes out. It's only going to catch a Bat Illusion. Meteor as well being thrown down, and will waltz into it. EMP just throwing everything down here. Weeha trying to zone back the side of VGR. Cast as well. Going to cause some issues, but not enough. I mean, no, just ready to frontline. The Ghost pummeling into the racks. Vici jumps in with the Roar. They'll get the self-destructive one. DDC with the swap, keeping the man alive here. Move, trying to move forward, get the Doom out onto end. The Resolution with the BKB, looking to take down the Terrorblade. Can they kill him? He's falling low. Will they do it? They should be able to. They'll get the Terrorblade kill. Yang and FY still trying to do their best to deal with this one as well. At the same time, no, the Exorcism has run out. It's a 2 for 1 at the moment. DC, they need to find more with Moon. Blinking in, getting the Infernal Blade down. Can they get the chase down? Stone Strike is going to connect on the 2. The damage will be split. Cast, the bounces will be there once, holding back FY and No. They'll take it down. Oh, a great kick from FY. Rolling in. FY turning this one around. Resolution incredibly low. Only just getting himself out of this. They'll get the kill. They'll turn towards Yang, but Yang playing around with this with a Flame Break. He's still alive for the time being. Resolution in the fire though. No. Oh, keeping himself alive with the use. We should be able to kill him, and will. Deafening Blast from the Evoker takes him down. But still a 3 for 3 there. Not necessarily as big of a win of a team fight that DC needed. But at least they do take those 2 big kills on TB and the Death Prophet, but a fair bit of damage already done. Actually, they didn't finish off the racks in the mid lane. So all things said and done, I guess DC will be happy.
And another hero stepping up to the plate, Earth Spirit, when all hope was lost for VGR.
He just went straight back in. He was like, I'm going to die.
Yeah, and he got Resolution with that. That's the big kill. And Resolution is pretty underfarmed in this sort of situation, at least relative to the Terrorblade. And I think with Metamorphosis coming off cooldown very soon, with Exorcism coming off cooldown very soon.
Yeah, time to push again.
Yep. They need to be better about protecting the Terrorblade. I don't think he can reveal himself. That Meteor was kind of off the mark, but and moved around his hero, so it was very obvious that he was the real one. And then he got doomed, and that was the beginning of the bad part of the fight for VGR.
Let's see what we are. Just gonna be looking for anything here. Indeed, as you suggested, it will be that Lincoln Sphere picked up from by the man, so a little bit harder for VGR to get those jumps in, and it looks like indeed VGR grouped up. Going to look for something again down the mid lane.
I don't know if they want to wait for the Roche. It could be 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. It could be 5.5 minutes. I don't think they want to wait. If they wait, the melee Rex is going to be at full HP. Right now, it's at a juicy 700.
Look at this from DC. They want to jump. They want to find something. At the same time, VGR, they're going to smoke as well. It's smoke on smoke action here. Misery on the front lines. Who's going to dispel who? DDC knows something's up. Has lost his smoke at the same time. So has Misery. A drop down ward. Sentries making sure that it's not Resolution sneaking around amongst them. Yang now jumps up. Oh, he's got a good grab as well. Taking Misery out. Hits Saxa. Throws out the cast. They'll get a lovely tornado in the combo being dropped to Resolution. Hitting out with the damage here. Pulls the BKB. Looking towards DDC. At the moment, only one dead. They're trying to take down and they get out the Doom. Move. Falling over. They found the kill. And can they finish and Weehaw, he'll take it, gets the TV as well. 3-0 on Vici Gaming Reborn. Siphon and Exorcism coming through. Resolution, he will be taken down. Can they get themselves anything more? VGR Yang, no, looking to chase down Saxa. They'll get him as well. They'll find Witch Doctor. So again, another 3-for-3 trade. Still with the Exorcism up. We'll see if they can find anything else if they just want to calm down here. They did also manage to force out a buyback from Misery.
Yeah, 3 for 4 at the end of the day. And they had to commit so much onto the Terrorblade in this fight. And nice job by Mu identifying where the Terrorblade is at these fights and getting that Doom on him. Clinks blows his BKB, trying to finish down End. But then you have the Death Prophet on the back lines slaying everyone.
This is only going to be part of the fact that NoNo's been living throughout these fights.
And Invoker's living too.
Yes, that's true. And Weehaw is certainly playing his role well. We're seeing he's pretty much always the one to get the final touch onto the TV, just making sure that whatever happens, End does still die at the end of these fights.
Terrorblade might consider getting a Lincolns in this situation. What else can pop it? I guess Beastmaster with his Necros, or Roar, maybe a Casks. But Clinks can't pop it, and Invoker maybe with Cold Snap, I suppose, but Doom can't pop it. Doom and Clinks.
We're going to see that Roche is back up now, both teams.
They cannot give it to Vici Reborn.
They need to contest this one, DC.
Otherwise, the Doom is just useless. They'll just put it on N, and he doesn't have to use his Metamorphosis for the fight.
Going to be such a strong push if DC can get this. Sorry, if VGR take this away from DC, but DC, they know it's up. And send out some illusions into DC's jungle, so they'll know that VGR are trying to create space around the pit. BKB being picked up by the Terrorblade as well. I mean, this is obviously going to help him out massive amounts against Weehaw. Let's see what I'm going to have to see. Just a zoning Sunstrike.
They don't have a gem up. Oh, they do have a gem up on Batrider. They need to kill that Hawk to secure the Roche.
DC, they certainly will want to fight.
And I don't know if either team have smokes. They've just been pumping them out like candy.
And DC are just going to get heavy with the aggression on the mid lane by the looks of it.
I think they should sacrifice. They would sacrifice a T2 for the Roche. So DC can't commit for that sort of trade.
As we can see, really, this game an incredibly close one. DC, they've got a huge swing, but after those last few fights, VGR, they managed to regain.
I wonder if they know that the Invoker has Lincoln. They might not know. We know. But that could be a very costly lasso.
Resolution, he's been able to keep farming throughout these kind of engagements. Coming up for 3.8k on top of the BKB that he did end up going for. And we've already seen he is doing massive amounts of damage. I mean, he is a key part of these fights. Even being able to do a significant amount against End, to just follow through at that extra damage on after Mu gets the Doom down onto the Terrorblade to make sure that End does die in these fights. So both teams just being very, very careful at this point. It looks like no one's going to get picked off. And the VGR, they are going to head into the pit, but again, the Sunstrike from Wheat is there. They know exactly what's going on, and immediately are going to start to head over. There's some good wards from the side of VGR here, so that they will have the vision of DC as they come close to this point, but DC heading back, they know that VGR is moving forward. But it really feels at the moment that VGR are just certainly maintaining superior control around the Roche, but they're heading back in. I mean, DC, they really need to get themselves straight over it, especially with the Exorcism out. It is going to be a quick Roche from VGR. VGR, it looks like they will get away with this one. DC, unable to deal with that. And that Aegis now picked up by NoNo on the Death Prophet. We'll find a DD at the least DC, but VGR being allowed to get away with that, that's going to mean okay.
That was just his Manta slot.
That was a taunting BKB.
But DC don't know that he popped his BKB.
Oh dear. But nonetheless, they got Aegis. They're fine, man. They're happy, VGR.
But nothing for the Terrorblade.
That's true. He just of course being put onto the Death Prophet.
Might need some tricky illusion micro to throw off Mu. I think one wrong Doom could lose them the game.
Yeah, so far though, Mu's certainly been absolutely bang on with the Dooms. Each and every time catching out the main Terrorblade.
Needs some mind games. No BOTs up on VGR will make pushing the lanes out very, very difficult. And DC with the BOTs up on Invoker, they can kind of delay the 5-man push from VGR as long as they can, and the split push threat from the Beastmaster with the summons will certainly be looking to stop that. You do not want to fight into VGR's 5-man right now, especially with just the melee racks up alive in the mid lane.
Bit of confidence being shown there by the side of DC as 3 members working their way around this bottom lane. Saxa, Misery, and of course Resolution on the Clinks in the nearby neighborhood. TP back already from FY. Looks like DC not willing to stay around any longer than they need to be. And really it's just going to be a question of when one side looks to catch out another. I mean, do VGR need to continue the aggression? Do you imagine that we are going to see them try and make something big happen with the fact that they've got this Aegis and Cheese at this stage?
They definitely should. Terrorblade isn't going to scale that much more. He already does have 6 slots. I suppose he can pick up Hurricane Pike, but that's not that much of a power increase for him. Maybe to replace the Diffusal Blade with something Moonsharp, but all these are very marginal upgrades for the Terrorblade. He is as strong as he is going to get, and he was, I think, strongest relative to everyone else in the game when they pushed uphill with a Scotty, but unable to transition that into a melee rack skill. Maybe they can get it now.
Absolutely, and also this timing as well where End has just finished off the Bootsy travel. So as you said, this time they can go a bit heavier in on the push, knowing that if any kind of split is coming out from DC.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the Doom onto him and not commit too much.
And the mid lane jumping in, he's caught out Moo here. There's a lot of damage here coming from VGR, ripping through the Doombringer.
That BOT's.
60 seconds down now for Moo. He is, of course, just, fair bit of gold short of a buyback. So this defense from DC is going to have to be done without one man. Oh no, the swap onto Wii. It's a huge swap as well. Wii will get the tornado out. Can he keep himself alive here? No! Ripped to shreds by VGR. The Death Ward. Will it find DDC? He eats the cheese. He'll still go down though. VGR, they'll finish off the melee racks. Buyback, of course, from Weeha to try and help hold. But they've already lost the full set of racks in the mid lane. VGR, looks like they'll hold back. They don't want to try and go for anything again as of yet. Waiting for the Exorcism to come back online again for round 2. Just going to head back and push out that top lane.
Who popped that Lincolns on him?
I didn't see, actually.
Yeah,
but I mean, they threw everything at that man. They really did. He got brought straight into the middle of the fight.
And luckily for DC, there will not be a time where the Exorcism will be cooled down. The Aegis will expire by the time it comes off cooldown. And they're going to have to wait for Metamorphosis as well, so doubt they can make another.
I think it might be actually the rod from the DP, and then they followed through with forcing him into the middle of them all.
Nice.
My goodness, this game certainly indeed proven to be an incredibly tight one. But VGR, even though they slipped up towards the middle, it certainly feels like they are certainly the ones coming back into lead. A Resolution now with the AC as well. So.
And has sold his Dragon Lance going into the Butterfly.
Very close to having the gold for that completed one as well.
And 2 Clarities in his inventory for good measure. What the heck was that? I just thought we'd sell it.
Octarine's down now for Weeha. I mean, if there ever was a man to even just single-handedly hold the high ground, Weeha on his Invoker is certainly the hero you want to see him on. Well, when it comes to these kind of pushes from VGR, because he can get a lot done as long as he's not caught out at the start like we saw just at that last fight where VGR came in. They've got to keep Weeha in a safe position.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. The E-Blade Terrorblade.
What's the EV for?
Save people against the cleans?
He's usually going to get doomed, though. Maybe he can use it on the Clinks. Maybe he just wanted an item that they can push. I think that might be more it. Doesn't have time to go to the shop, and I think Butterfly is far more ideal in this situation. We'll see. Maybe he'll burst someone with his 214 agility.
Here we have it. The push again from VGR. Sending in the illusions. No, sitting back with the Exorcism. Fortification will come out. DC. What will they do to react to this one? No, they're trying to bring Nono in, but immediately DDC getting the swap out. Saving him. Yanks tries to jump in with a lasso onto move, but Weeha turns, trying to punish this, but now here comes the Terrorblade, ripping through the Doom, and turning to Saxa. Double kill for the man. Misery being slowed down by the Guardian End. He does not care that he's been doomed. Will just punch away at DC, forcing them back. Buyback from the Witch Doctor. They need to punish this. It's a nice ice wall from Weeha. FY can't stacked up. They'll punish the Earth Spirit, but still End standing strong, turning back towards Saxa. The E-Blade new coming in. It's a dieback on the Witch Witch Doctor and Terrorblade ripping through the bottom set of racks. The Tornado, EMP, they need to kill this man, but he'll get forced out, saved by the side. Can they chase him?
He still has Thunder.
They're trying to move forward, and he is more than fine. Steals the life of DDC. And they just can't kill him. In fact, Misery will end up killing DDC.
Oh, he waved and killed the Necro Book. That's so sad.
But nonetheless, again, VGR, a second set of racks that they've been able to clean out. So much damage being done by this Terrorblade. DC just seem unable to kill him, even with Mu hitting the Doom onto this hero. They just don't seem to have the control or damage to bring him down.
He was very preemptive with his BKB. He BKB'd and just turned on them before they could get any damage. I'm sure they got the Doom, but he's already popped all his cooldowns. He doesn't even care. He just right-clicks everyone down. And there's almost no way he's dropping during the BKB. He has 38
Absolutely
armor.
not.
And his illusions do too.
Absolutely not. And as we saw, they're just using the E-Blade to get those pickoffs onto the squishier members of DC. DC actually coming down the mid lane here. Misery, Mu, Resolution in the jungle towards the side, but I mean, this is such a risky play really if they go in against VGR's lineup. 20 seconds and Exorcism will be back online for NoNo.
I think it's all on Wii to make the big plays.
It really is. He's got the Blink Dagger. He's certainly kitted himself out, ready to do so. Scan from the side of VGR will spot out that DCR hanging around this area, and VGR is playing it safe. They've got a smoke on DDC, and here we have it. Ready to try and punish the fact that Digital Chaos feels confident and has come out over across the river.
There's so many fail-safes to help the Terrorblade out. He has BKB for one, even Manta is pretty good. They have Swap, they have Sunder, they have buyback into BOT. There's so many ways that he can just stay alive.
See what they can get at VGR. Very carefully moving up to the high ground. DC already, they know something's up. They backed right up into their base. Just Misery at the moment that's going out to try and desperately push these lanes out. Mid lane, Saxa needs to be careful. They've got this high ground ward here, VGR, so they know it's a clean initiation. Jumping in with FY. The Tornado will be there from Wii. How well can he hold this one off? And already making the move towards this top lane, ready to try for Mega Creep's Exorcism coming out as well. How did DC stop this? They're a man down for 40 seconds. And VGR take the T3 move, looking for the initiation, jumping in Misery to follow through. There's a combo coming out from Weehart. DDC will be brought down, able at the same time. Yang caught out Resolution with the lasso and punching into them. 4 down, there'll be a buyback from Resolution, but this is looking like the potential end of the line for Digital Chaos. 3 dead without the buyback. It's all up to Weehart and Resolution, the 2 cores to hold this, but they've already been Mega Creep, and GG is called.
Damn, did you see Yang that last fight? Mu blinked in, he manted off, and then Mu just stood there. It's like, what do I do? Wasn't able to use Doom that fight, and that was the finishing blow. DC with an early exit to this tournament after what seemed like a very promising group stage.
Absolutely, I mean, they just got Terrorbladed there. The Terrorblade pick was absolutely perfect for VGR, and they knew exactly what they were doing on it. 15-4-12, that's got to be one of the best TB performances we've seen, at least in a major environment like this. It's ridiculous.
Another well-constructed draft by FY, and I think they just baited out the Doom pick. They're like, okay, we're going to draft a couple of heroes that are very, very good versus the Doom. And the Clinks was not the best last pick it seemed for DC.
Absolutely not. Resolution struggled to get a lot done at this game against the Terrorblade as farmed as End was. And as you said, the Doom, I mean, it really felt like it wasn't the player, it was the hero. The fact that Mu, he was able to get the plays. He was constantly getting in and landing a successful Doom. But it was just the fact that this Terrorblade was so tanky, had the perfect backup. I mean, even the small thing like DDC, you know, his play with Avenge, constantly saving the life of Terrorblade in multiple ways, kind of swapping him out and also saying to End, sunder me, you know, take my life to save yourself. But what a game 3 indeed, as DC, as you said, a team that came into this and there was a lot of kind of hope being built up. They showed us that these guys, an incredibly strong team, but at the end of the day, VG Reborn with the Terrorblade card, pulling it out, moving on through the lower bracket. But that's it from me and you, Ben. Back to you guys on the panel.
Thank you very much, Odie Pixel in the commentary booth there with Melini, and we'll see them again throughout the tournament, of course. Thank you very much for great commentary once again. And a best of 3, the Vici Gaming Reborn have been reborn in the Manila Major. They are through to the next round in the lower bracket at the expense of Digital Chaos. Let's find out from our panel members what they thought. Charlie, we'll start with you. DC started this competition as one of the underdogs. We said that they were potential spoilers all the way through the tournament, yet they had such a great group stage. I think people started to believe actually they could go quite far.
Yeah, and I think they could have if they had cleaned up their play just a little more. If you saw both those games, a lot of the series that they lost, they had the potential to actually take those. They had the right draft, they had the right heroes, and their ability to, you know, like take those fights, it's there, but there's just these little mistakes here and there, sloppy initiations, unfamiliar with heroes.
You pointed out in game 1 that there were some sloppy mistakes, and it didn't really matter at that point because they were so far ahead and it was such a straightforward game. But you're right in many ways in that they had to clean those up, and it never came. Yeah,
you can't win this tournament just banking on the other team to make that many mistakes. You have to shore up your own as well.
Black, impressed with Vici Gaming Reborn as to how they came back into this after such a demoralizing first game?
I don't know. They regrouped after game 1. It was amazing. Their game 2 was amazing. Game 3, they grouped up a bit too much early on. They had a huge XP and gold disadvantage because of it. And that one smoke was like completely game-breaking. Until then, it was like all pretty much DC at that point because they couldn't fight anymore. And then after that smoke, they had the gold advantage from there to finish.
Yeah, somebody on DC always got picked off, basically. After the 15-minute mark, it was either Doom getting picked off or another important hero. Soxa died a few times as well. There's just a period of time where it's like, DC can win this, definitely, but death after death after death puts you into a harder place when you actually do take those team fights. And the team fights were going pretty well for DC up to 20 minutes or so. Even the Roche fight looked so good for them. But they had to kill Terrorblade in the Roche pit before he got the Sunder off, and they didn't fully commit. I don't think they had vision in there is the problem. I mean, Boulder was rolling through, it's doing a ton of damage, and then you lose vision. You can't run in there into melee range to see, is Terrorblade's HP full or not? It's a little hard, but they have to kill him. Once they kill him, the fight's straightforward. And they eventually did kill him in that fight, but then they got triple silence. They weren't able to kill TB without him doing insane damage before he died again, and then from there, you've got a Clinks, and you're going late game against heroes that are better late game than Clinks. And I like how they used the Clinks in the laning stage. They shifted a mid. It worked out really well at killing DP. They really shut down DP a bit in the early mid game, but it had to transition, and if you don't transition on Clinks, he's going to fall off, and that's what happened. Yeah.
Now we'll take a look back at some of the highlights. They won't be pretty reading if you're a DC fan this time round. But Vici Gaming, I mean, some of the fights were fairly even, Black. What was the difference, do you think, when it came to those team fights?
I mean, at first it was as VGR's team fight was way superior. But we see there, if they get the smoke gang on the Invoker first, which they've never gotten at all, then they will just win because Invoker was the main reason they won those fights. He was disrupting everything. He was their main DPS as well. And if they kill him first, they will win a team fight, which we saw there. And then after that, they just got their items up, and then it was DC that couldn't fight anymore because the Clinks was just way too underfarmed from their early laning stage.
There was some great plays by the DP in here as well.
Oh, they actually did have vision. They had a Necro 3 in there. But he got so low. If they just would have right-clicked him 1 or 2 more times, they would have had it. But Resolution got scared there. If he just committed to it, the TB goes dead, or goes down. It's an Aegis respawn, but maybe they can kill DP in the meantime.
Yeah. But it's just really scary because of the... It wasn't the last patch. It was like some patches ago. Even when you kill TB in Metamorphosis, he will respawn with Metamorphosis on still.
And there was the triple silence. Weehawk couldn't cast a spell. Moo couldn't cast Doom right away, so he gets an extra illusion off, and he casts Reflection, which lowers their movement speed. It was so many problems. So he did die, but...
This is when you get like really excited, you know, there's like, oh, kill DP again, kill DP again. Why was Weeha in melee range? It should never happen. Like, you know, they just got overexcited, and they forgot about the DP.
Yeah, agreed. It just comes down to cleaning up their play, like those little mistakes where TB's running out of the Roche pit and at like almost no HP trying to sunder at everybody, and then everybody from DC is running away from him instead of focusing him.
And they also ran into this problem here. They won the team fight, but now they're running into Ghost Scepter problems. The Resolution had to go an AC build in a lot of ways because he needed resistance against TB's damage and Exorcism. But if he just had a Diffusal Blade, he would have just been consistently killing somebody at the start of every fight, and he couldn't do that.
It was a great kick too from FY.
Oh yeah, that was so good. And after the silence, this meant Resolution went down here. Great
it's so hard with Clinks. When you die as Clinks, you have no real like catch-up farm. You have no farm mechanic. If you die in team fight with Clinks, you won't get fat. and he was really underfarmed. They needed him to bring the DPS because the TB went for BKB. If you don't have the DPS for Klings, then you can't kill him.
And then from here, every other fight at the end, it was always Batrider going in first, catching somebody from DC. This forces Misery to buy back. He doesn't get roar off before he starts the fight. They ultimately do doom the Terrorblade, but I believe this fight was about even 3 for 3, but the important heroes on VGR stayed alive, with the exception of TB.
And Misery did have to buy back in this fight. He does end up using Roar, but it's very ineffective. There's no follow-up damage.
Yep.
Really tough game for them. Witch Doctor worked out pretty well, I actually thought, in the first 20 minutes because this cask stuns illusions for 5 seconds, but at some point Witch Doctor felt pretty useless.
Yeah, DC did have some great fights, some great initiations, but the problem is that they had to consistently do it, or else the margin for error on VGR's lineup is so much greater. The late game TB, it's incredibly hard to deal with DC's heroes.
Yep, and you can always Sunder if you don't execute perfectly.
Yep.
And you're against a Batrider, so there's a good chance that you're not going to execute perfectly.
Like, you're out of position with TB, you're really low, you get swapped out, you run back in your Sunder, and suddenly the team fight is won.
With the fact that we've seen this Terrorblade twice now, it's won twice, it's very effective in both the games it's been played. It is a pocket pick right now. Do you see it coming out more though? Do you think other teams are going to be looking at this and thinking, actually, that's a really effective way of catching teams out in the first pick?
We already spoke about it. Like, if you get a last pick, TB in, and a really good lineup, it is like so hard to counter him. This game he had a completely free reign. There was only the Doom, and even if you get Doom, TB, he cares about it, but you know, it's not detrimental that he like, stays there. He just keeps hitting you with the Metamorphosis on, and you just die as Doom. You get Doom off, but you die in 1 second.
I think the key for DC here is that they should have taken a lot of these fights before Terrorblade went into Metamorphosis, before all their spells came off. They'd allowed them to just walk up to their high ground, get off all their sieging spells, and then they took the fight.
Right. There's like, TB had 2 Metamorphosis illusions, then you blink in with Doom, and you're like, okay, I'm dead.
Yeah. They had to start the fight before VGR started sieging their high ground.
Yeah.
Really tough game for their for DC. They've got to be sad about that one, I think, especially the way Game 2 went. Game 3, they could have played it better, but I think it's just clear that they weren't the best team here. They did have a lot of mistakes.
What can they take out of this that's positive?
Well, they got second in their group. They went pretty far. They went through winners bracket.
They're the highest placing North American team at this tournament.
Is it really? They're all gone. Is that what you're saying?
They're all gone, man.
EG call.
And that was second round of loser bracket, so that's not very deep.
9th to 12th is the official finishing place for DC. I would imagine if you'd said to them before the tournament started, you're going to finish 9th to 12th. Do you want to play your matches and see whether you do any better? They'd have probably thought, we can do better than that.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people thought they could have done better than that. I think if they replay this series, there's a good chance that they win it again.
Yeah, I definitely think so. But I think it's clear that they learned we need to have good heroes, or he needs to expand his hero pool. I mean, that's a very common criticism for a lot of mid players that are coming from pubs.
Yang had a very good game.
Charlie,
Oh yeah,
absolutely. There were, messed up a few times in the early game with his initiations. Once on the Beastmaster, once on the Beast.
Doom.
Yeah, and then once on the Doom. But you know what? Still consistently throughout the rest of the game, started fights for his teams, got lassos off on the right targets. All the fights that VG won were on the back of Yang.
And this is like great to see. Many players, when they do those mistakes, they actually get affected by it a lot. They're like, man, I can't mess up again. But he actually just recovered, and then he played it perfectly.
And he also made it so hard for his opponents to kill him. How many times did he jump in, pops Ghost Scepter right when they try to kill him? Like that time that Resolution died when he ate the Ancient. He would have died earlier if Resolution just killed him when they chased down the TB in the first place. Like, and if he would have been dead there, then Resolution would have been alive and possibly killed the Death Prophets. Like, if a hero like Batrider can just stay alive during that fight and come back through and keep putting sticky napalms and maybe
Flame
cancel
breaks.
TPs, it's huge.
Yeah, he ends up living through that entire fight as well.
All right, we'll get more from you in just a moment, but now we're going to head back to the main stage because Sir Action Slacks has found his man, and his man is End.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I've got End, I've got our translator, Helen, and I am ready to roll with you, buddy. You just survived your elimination match against DC. You sent them packing, and you guys are moving forward in the Manila Major. It's got to be feeling good. Oh.
刚刚你们获得了胜利，然后也顺利把 DC 淘汰了，你现在感觉怎么样？
现在感觉很开心吧，可以多打几轮。
I feel super happy. I can play a few more matches.
That's good to hear. You're going to have to. But let's talk about that last game. Now, Terrorblade, as a casual viewer, every time we see Terrorblade, we get a little nervous. We think that it's a risky pick. How confident were you guys with that pick on Terrorblade?
刚刚第3盘的时候拿出了 TB，对于就是在家里观看比赛的观众来说，可能是一个很危险或者很冒险的选择。你们自己觉得呢？
TB 这个英雄是我2年前的一个绝活吧，我对这个英雄非常有信心，而且 TB 这个英雄，我们在出国之前我们也是练了很久，胜率也是特别高的一个英雄。
We actually practiced on TB quite a while before coming to the Manila Major, and it's one of our heroes that had a really high win rate. I'm very confident in this hero.
All right, very good. Thank you. Now, a question I've been burning to ask you for quite some time. Excuse me. A few months ago, you decided to study under Burning instead of playing. I just wanted to ask you what you were hoping to learn from him.
之前你选择当替补，也是向 Burning 学习，而不打职业选手。就是你为什么做出这个决定？
当初是因为没有其他路可以走了吧，因为被 U-Home 踢掉之后也没有好的去处，然后我也觉得就是当时技术可能确实没有那么好，静下心来休息一下，正确认识一下自己，才有帮助提高吧。
At the time when I was kicked from eHome, I didn't really have any better options, and I felt that I did need to improve on my skills as a player, so I decided to take a break and re-identify myself as a player.
All right, very good. Now, personal question for you. In Game 3, we saw a spectacular moment. You were moving down as the Terrorblade, and you popped your 10-second BKB for seemingly no reason. I just want to know what happened.
刚刚在中路，就是你拿到 BKB 之后，就突然开了，为什么会这样子做呢？
那个商店老板骗我，他说这个 BKB 可能是国产的，不是10秒，然后一点，哎，还真10秒的。
Well, the secret shopkeeper told me that the BKB might have been made in China, so I wanted to test it if it's 10 seconds. And actually, it is 10 seconds.
Well, glad we all know. Thank you very much. All right. So you've been a rising star in the Chinese scene for quite some time. You could have picked any team you wanted, but you went with FY and Vici Reborn. I want to know why.
你也是一位很有天赋的选手，我们觉得你去哪支队伍都可以的，但是为什么选择在 FY 那个队伍呢？
因为我很喜欢 VG， 然后我也很喜欢 FY。
Because I really, really like VG, and I really, really, really like FY.
Oh, how beautiful answer. Well, you guys played really well. I'm so excited that you guys get to continue your run in Manila. You're up against either LGD or Team Empire next. Are you ready to face them and bring them just as much hype as we saw in that last series?
你的下一个对手可能是老干爹或者 Empire， 你有没有信心就是面对他们？然后你想面对是谁呢？
想和国外队多打一会儿吧，因为国内队伍对我们太了解了。
I want to face against the foreign teams because Chinese teams know us too well.
All right, well, let's see if you get your wish. We're going to find out soon, but for now, we'll send it on back to Paul over at the panel. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. So Action Slacks once more with the questions. He did very well there, didn't he? Did you notice how calm he stayed, considering that his team just lost to Vici Gaming Reborn? He did very well indeed. Well done, Sir Action Slacks, and well done to End and the boys from Vici Gaming. Charlie, just how far can they go now that they've got this confidence, they've got a bit of swag about them, FY's confidence again is returned. Can they go further?
Yeah, actually, I think there is that possibility of them taking a series against either LGD or Empire. I wouldn't say that they would be the favorites against LGD. We'll see how Empire does against them, but I think there is that possibility that they showed signs of life here. They showed, you know, a play style, something that they prefer, taking it to the late game. And, you know, that might work for them depending on how well the other team plays.
Yeah, late bloomers don't often do well at these kind of tournaments because you kind of need to get going early on. We've already seen teams fall out because they haven't got going early. Vici seem to be bucking that trend.
A little thing that worries me for them is, he also just said it at the end, after Star Ladder, which they won against mostly foreign teams, they only played against the Chinese teams and they just didn't win anymore. Now he just said, we are not confident to play against Chinese teams. So for them, I actually hope they have to play with his Empire because, you know, maybe he revealed like a little bit of weakness.
A little bit of weakness, maybe. Purge, final thoughts on the match?
Yeah, there's not a lot of Chinese teams left in the tournament, and unfortunately for him, they're on his side of the loser bracket. But if he gets through this, and hypothetically newbie wins, then he might be able to make a run through the Western team. So they definitely impressed me. They clearly played better than DC that game, and they deserve the win.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you very much to all three gentlemen. We'll be back at the panel very shortly, of course. We're heading towards a break now, though, because our next series is just around the corner. It's LGD versus Empire.
Next matchup, LGD Gaming versus Team Empire.
All right, I was walking by and I saw you had an interesting bag. May I know what's inside of your bag here?
This is a hot dog sandwich.
Bring it out, man. We got to see the hot dog sandwich.
Okay, sure.
Okay, yeah, put it down. Oh, okay, I'll hold your water. What do we got? Oh, yeah, so this is what they're selling in the arena, right? Because we're trying to give people at home, like, see what it looks like from here. So, open the hot dog sandwich.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. It's very delicate. It's very large, yes. You can open it a little faster. It's up to you. You don't have to. There we go.
This is food. You can't really rush it.
That's true.
It's like art. You know?
Filipino food, yeah. You guys are very big on the food here. Oh, 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 look at that sweet hot dog. Yes. Can you eat it for us as fast as possible on camera?
I can only take a bite.
Okay, one bite, but make it a good bite. We're going to zoom in. We're going to make it as good as possible here. Show you the arena food. Make it a real sensual bite. Here we go.
I'll make it as delicate as possible.
There we go. All right, here, take your bite.
Can I do that?
Yes.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah! Oh! Woo! Now that's a hot dog sandwich, my man.
Fine.
Sir, hello. I'm looking for some beautiful signs. Let's take a look at this. Oh, we got the Mushi, we got the Love, the Shadow Fiend right there. What is this down here? What is that?
Bole.
Bole. What is Bole?
Bole means Ken.
Ken. What?
Ken.
Ken. Oh.
Ken.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Ah. Yes. All right. So I want to try something here.
Yeah.
Is there any chance you think that you could help me, like, get a speech going, get some kind of crowd going for Fnatic? Can we start something? All right, how about we try this? I'm gonna try to go Fnatic. What should we do? Like Fnatic. All right, you ready? Let's see if we can do this. Here we go. You guys want to help us? We gotta do a Fnatic cheer. All right. Fnatic. You got nothing. They didn't help us at all. Yeah. All right, so we just say. All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, we were walking by, and these guys were all yelling that we had to come over here. And now you guys are all calm. What up? Hey. Let's grab it. Kiss me? No. Come on. I'll take it. I'll take one for the team. What do we got here, bro? Come here, bring it in. Just put it on the side. Come on, baby. You got this. No, not me. I'm not going to do it to you. You have to do it to me. That changes everything. All right, just right here. Come on, just get out. Who do you think should have won this major?
Team Liquid, for sure.
Team Liquid. Any particular hero or person that you're interested in on that team?
Farah.
Fada. All right. You got a very cool look, kind of like Fada. You remind me of him, man. Very cool, relaxed guy.
Yeah, I've been a fan since C9, so.
Oh, okay. Let's give a cool, relaxed look in the camera. Do our best Fada. You're in on this too. You ready? Just give it a 3. We'll turn around and hit the camera. All right, you ready? Yeah, just look right at the camera. Give them your best Fada. You ready? 1, 2, 3. What's your name?
Pao.
And your name?
Good.
All right, how you guys liking this event so far, man?
It's amazing. The production, absolutely amazing. You've got the triple screen. You've got
it's speechless. It's speechless.
Cam. You've got courier cam. Pog champ.
Oh my God.
How can you watch any other tournament without this kind of production?
That's what I'm talking about. Amazing.